Friends, today we are going to study the topic our environment. From the topic we can guess, we are going to learn about our planet Earth. Our planet Earth, which is our environment, include physical surrounding and biological life. Plants, animals, human beings and microorganisms are the living part, while air, soil and water are the non-living part. Environment includes non-living matter and living organisms which are dependent on each other for survival. Let's study the topic ecosystem. Ecosystem is the structural and functional unit of biosphere. It also includes biotic and abiotic factor. The two basic processes involved in ecosystem are cycling of material and flow of energy. Cycling of material is a cycle where exchange of material between biotic and abiotic component take place, while the flow of energy includes the energy transfer from sun to other organisms. The different type of ecosystem are natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. Forest, grassland, desert, ocean, and lake are the examples of natural ecosystem. Natural ecosystem is operated by nature without any human interference, while the artificial ecosystem is the man-made ecosystem engineered and maintained by humans. Croplands, garden, aquarium, crop fields are the example of artificial ecosystem. We can set up artificial ecosystem at our home. For setting up an aquarium, oxygen pump is attached with the empty large glass jar for supplying oxygen to the system. Water is poured into the jar before keeping aquatic animals inside it. Abiotic components are classified into inorganic substances, organic compound and climatic factor. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, calcium, phosphorus are the free state, while water and carbon dioxide are in compound form. These all are the main abiotic components. They are present in water, soil, and carbohydrate, protein, lipids, fat, nucleic acid are the organic compounds which are present in living organisms. While light, temperature, humidity, water, and rainfall are the climatic factor which affects the climate. Biotic components are classified into three main categories as producer, consumer, and decomposers. Producers can produce their own food by using simple inorganic substances. The example of producers are green plants and blue green algae. While the consumers are unable to synthesize their food, they consume food prepared by plants. They are dependent on producers. All animals are the consumers. Decomposers are the microorganisms which break down the complex organic compound present in dead organisms into simpler substances. Bacteria and fungi are the basic decomposers. Decomposers are present in the soil. They help in decomposing dead bodies, act as a cleansing agent of environment. They also maintain the fertility of soil. They put back the nutrient back into soil, air and water after the death of plants and animals. Consumers are further divided into three groups: herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Herbivores are the animals who only consume plants. Cattle, goat, sheep, horse, deer are the examples of herbivores. Herbivores are the primary consumers. Primary consumers means they only feed the plants. Carnivores are the animals who eat flesh of other animals. Vulture, lion, tiger, wolf, and snake are the examples of carnivores. Carnivores can be secondary consumer or tertiary consumer. Omnivores are those animals who can feed both plants and animals. Man, dog, crow, bear, ant are the examples of omnivores. Primary consumers feed on the plant. Secondary consumers feed the primary consumers. while the tertiary consumers feed the secondary consumers. Tertiary consumers are the large consumers, example fish, wolves, snake, tiger, and lion. Food chain is the sequence which transfer food energy from one organism to another. In simple words, who eats whom? All food chains begin with green plants, as green plants can capture energy from sun and perform photosynthesis. We can see in the example, grass is eaten up by deer and the deer is then eaten up by the lion. Food chain is always unidirectional. It cannot take place in the reverse direction. From deer to grass or from lion to deer or deer to grass. Trophic level are the steps representing the organism in a food chain at which transfer of food and energy take place. The first trophic level are always the plants that are producers. Herbivores form the second trophic level. Carnivores form the third trophic level. And the large carnivores who feed on the small carnivores constitute the last trophic level. They are also known as secondary predator. They are not preyed upon, instead they die of old age or disease. Food chain is always straight, it is always unidirectional, it always flow from sun to producer as sun is the ultimate source of energy. Always remember that 80 to 90% of energy is lost as heat in the transfer of food in food chain. There are only 3 to 4 trophic levels in the food chain. Food chain help us in knowing the various interactions among the different organisms. Food web is the network of food chain become interconnected at various trophic levels. In food web, one organism may occupy more than one position. An organism can obtain its food from different sources and in turn may be eaten up by different organisms. For example, as you can see, the mice may be consumed by a snake or a hawk. Let's study how human activity affect ecosystem. Shortening of food chain due to hunting leads to an unbalanced in the ecosystem. Formation of Sahara Desert is an example of ill effect of human activity. Romans started capturing lions. Population of lion was reduced to large extent. Due to this, population of herbivores increased rapidly. Herbivores start eating up all the vegetation, turning the green forest into vast desert, which is now known as Sahara Desert. Our Rajasthan Desert was also formed as a result of overgrazing of vegetation by herbivores. Most of the important topic of this lesson is 10% law. According to law, only 10% of energy is transferred from one trophic level to another. 80 to 90% of energy get lost as heat in the environment during transfer of energy. As now we know the concept of 10% law, let's explore how energy get transferred in an ecosystem. Only 1% of the sun energy is used by plants in the process of photosynthesis and stored it as a chemical energy. Plants are eaten up by herbivores. Chemical energy of plant is transferred to herbivores. They utilize only 10% of this energy for metabolic activities like respiration, transportation and growth. The remaining 80 to 90% get lost as heat. From the chart, we can conclude that amount of energy gradually decreases while moving from each trophic level. We know that pesticides are sprayed over crops to protect it from pests and diseases. Pesticides are the harmful chemicals. They mix up with soil and water and gets absorbed by plants. Pesticides enter the food chain at the producer level, gets transferred to each trophic level. This increase in concentration of harmful chemicals in the body of organisms is called biological magnification. The most important issue in our country is how we should manage the garbage. Garbage is the household waste, for example, leftover food, fruit and vegetable peels, fallen leaves, waste paper, plastic, glass, metal objects, and sewage. Some of the garbage is biodegradable, whereas the major part is non biodegradable. Biodegradable waste means these are the waste which can be broken down by the help of microorganisms into simple substances. They can get easily be decomposed. Biodegradable waste only become a pollutant when they get accumulated in a large quantities. Example of biodegradable waste are urine, paper, fecal matter, vegetable and fruit peel. While the non-biodegradable waste are those waste which cannot be broken down into simpler and harmless products with the help of microbes. They are always present in environment as a pollutant. E-waste, mercury, lead, DDT pesticides are the example of non-biodegradable waste. Disposal of waste should be done in a scientific way. Let's discuss different methods of waste disposal. In this method of disposal of waste is in low-lying ground and covering it with earth. This method is commonly used in urban areas. Preparation of compost. Bio-waste can be converted into compost by burying in a pit dug into the ground, which can be used as a manure. Incineration. It is carried out at incinerator, burning of substances at high temperature, more than 1000 degrees Celsius, to form ash. This ashes is then disposed of by landfill. It is used to destroy household waste, chemical waste, and biological waste generated from hospital. All the organic matter is removed as CO2 and water vapor in incinerator. Production of biogas and manure. Sewage is treated in sewage treatment plant. Organic matter present in sewage is digested in the digester of sewage treatment plant to produce biogas and manure. Sewage treatment. Dirty drain water containing urine and feces carried from house by underground pipes, which is treated at sewage treatment plant. The clean water produced through sewage treatment plant is discharged into river. Recycling of waste. Solid waste get recycled by this process. For example, waste paper is reprocessed to form new paper. Broken plastic articles like bucket bowl are melted and remolded to make new articles. Ozone gas formation. It is a molecule of three atoms of oxygen. It is a poisonous gas. UV radiations coming from sun splits the molecule of oxygen into two oxygen atom. Free oxygen atom are very reactive. It quickly reacts with the oxygen molecule to form the ozone molecule, which is O3. A condensed layer of ozone gas is present in the stratosphere. It is a protecting shield around Earth, absorbs UV radiations coming from sun, protecting living beings. Ozone depletion. Ozone depleting substances which react with ozone layer in the stratosphere and destroy it. The main ozone depleting substances are chlorofluorocarbon and methane. Chlorofluorocarbons are synthetic harmful chemicals used in refrigerator and ACs as coolants, in fire extinguishers and in sprays. Once released in the air, chlorofluorocarbon produces active chlorine in the presence of UV radiations. They destroy the ozone by converting it into oxygen. Due to this, the ozone layer in the upper atmosphere become thin. A hole has already been formed in ozone layer over Antarctica. UV radiation causes skin cancer, damages eye and causes cataract. It sometimes also damages immune system, reduce body's resistance to disease. It decreases the rate of photosynthesis up to 10 to 25%. Decreased photosynthesis result in increase in concentration of CO2, resulting in global warming. And it also damages aquatic marine life. Thank you. I hope